But if you could have 1,000 small checks that are consistent compared to one big check that you never get again, what would you want?
All right, talking about a big check. There's a $5.2 million judgment. Listeners, we are talking about a $5.2 million judgment that was granted to a girlfriend who has remained anonymous. Her initials are M.O.
Ex-girlfriend?
She's an ex-girlfriend now. M.O. is her initials. And in the state of Missouri.
Can we give her a name?
M.O.
Like.
More money.
I like it. You ain't nothing but a hoochie mama. I see you with this dress.
Welcome to another episode of Diva Court. I'm your host, Marcia Mignon.
Hoochie mama Marcia.
And with me, as usual, is my cray-cray diva, co-diva, Dana.
Dana's in the house. Hey.
Tire slashing Smith. Go look at episode 2 and you'll see why she's called that.
Nothing wrong with slashing a tire or 6.
We are not responsible for the things she's going to say, including that.
Just don't admit it on tape that you did it. Like, if you do slash a tire or 6, don't tell nobody.
Just tell them about 3 or 2.
Don't tell them about none of them. You don't want to get caught up.
We do not own the rights to any of the subjects we're going to talk about.
Or do we have tissue for your tears?
And we're not buying them either, okay? So do not give us the price tag. This show is for edutainment purposes only.
Yes, ma'am.
And don't forget to look for our episodes each week. We push them out on Wednesdays.
Week.
Oh, so you're going to steal my... Oh, okay. All right. Last week she didn't like that. This week she want to use it. Typical sister.
I'm just colonizing your...
Go ahead, colonist. Colonizer.
just colonizing your whole situation.
Find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts.
Google us.
This show is sponsored by Cutie Nails and Spa in Midtown that is offering manicures, pedicures, facials,
get them facials done,
and the lashes. Enjoy a spa experience and let a team of cuties take care of you.
That's right.
All right, listeners, topic number 1. Put them up. Monique versus D.L. Hughley. Okay, so Monique and D.L. Hughley are in a battle regarding a headliner. Who's the real headliner? Would the real headliner please stand? Remember that?
Yes. I don't know if it went like that, but I do remember the reference.
No, you don't.
I do remember the reference. Won't the real Slim Shady please stand up?
It goes beyond that. It's from To Tell the Truth.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah, it's a game show to tell the truth.
Oh, so you weren't even talking about Slim Shady.
Oh, so you shady?
No, I'm just Slim. I'm at least trying. Suck and tuck, lady. Suck and tuck.
We have dreams. We all have dreams.
You know what? Everybody always got something to say when they be out behind the camera.
Look, you slim.
You can say everything when you behind the camera. You just roll your little self around here.
So come up front, please.
Come on front.
Come from the back.
Who said I wasn't dreaming with you?
All right, so Monique is upset with D.L. Hughley, listeners, and let me tell you why. I have watched enough Instagram speak, enough video, read enough online information to think I can speak on the topic in detail. So Monique is thinking that she's the headliner because she has a contract that says she's the headliner and she will be the last act on the stage. That contract was tight, okay? Because I expected the contract to say she's the headliner. I didn't expect it to say that she's the last act on the stage because that clarified who should go last in the contract.
Right.
So the night of the event in Detroit, DL decides that he's the headliner. Monique says she's the headliner. So behind the stage, there was a discussion, and the discussion was that Monique should not go last because DL Hughley, according to Monique, pulled a BS move.
you know they can always beep out the word if you want to say bitch ass move.
Okay.
You see how they bleep that out right there?
Oh, okay.
So you
All
can
right.
say it.
No, we only bleep hers.
My kids, I don't want my kids happen to come across
This video.
right. I need you to beep that out.
Okay, so Monique is upset because she thinks that DL was being petty, messy, all the above, because her contract said she was supposed to be the headliner. She's supposed to be the last person on the stage. So Monique comes up with one better. And she says, okay, I'll go out in front of him and I'll burn the stage down when I leave.
Everybody's going down.
Yeah, so she went on the stage, told the audience everything that was going on, told them how horrible of a person she thinks DL is, and that she thought he was her friend, and that she's realizing now that he's not her friend, he's a hypocrite, and that nobody should like him.
And the DL means a down low.
Yeah, she said DL
dog.
means down low, and she left the inference up to you. You can draw whatever inference
We're going
you want.
with down low dirty dog.
Hey,
That's what we're going to go with.
She said
here, allegedly.
you can tell whatever DL. She said you can put in whatever DL means to you, but for her, it's something derogatory. So DL gets up and he says, I'm going to defend myself. I know what Tyler Perry went through. Now I know what Oprah went through. Now I know what Lee Daniels went through. And he started going down the list of individuals who Monique has had issue with in the past. Whose team are you on?
I'm always on the black woman's team, even when she's against the black man. Unless she's being a B.I.B.I. So, I just feel like black men just don't be protecting black women. Like, when...
But that's her point. That was her point. That was her biggest
what
point.
happened to, like, when I walk into the store, you know what I'm saying?
You hold the door
open for me.
Slam
Maybe
it in
that's
your
what
face.
he was trying to do, hold the door so he can go last.
He said, no, after you.
You have it. You got it. I mean, these sound like millionaire problems to me.
It could be thousandaires because
Thousandaires.
according to DL, Monique is a thousandaire, not a millionaire. And that's why she should go before him.
But because all I'm saying is that if I like the fact that she went on stage even though she wasn't last, because she could have pulled a B move. And, I never say B move when it's associated to a black woman because I respect us black women. Okay. But she could have pulled a B move and just been like, I'm not even going to go out on set, period. You know what I'm saying?
She got a contract. She would owe money.
Right. But I guess that's what happens when you have a contract compared to a memo.
Right.
So, but with that being said, on one hand, I'm thinking, you do got a contract. So why don't we just handle this in the court of law and you just get you another check to cut some money? You know what I'm saying? Maybe we should keep our problems in-house. Like sometimes now I'm thinking like, why are we even having our discussions of showing us in a bad light outside of our personal circles?
So after Donald Trump, is there any light that's bad?
I know, but I just feel like they already think black people be messy. So like, why are we shining a light? Like I can disagree with you, but let's not disagree in public. Let's handle it in private.
So are we held as black people to a different standard because of the color of our skin? So, people like Donald Trump can say anything about women bleeding from their whatever and mocking the handicap. And we go, oh, that's just Donald Trump.
Right. I mean, we don't
So
have
should
that
we be held to a
privilege.
different
Like
standard?
we don't have the privilege to be indignant. We don't have that privilege. It's just like we don't have the privilege to wear a hoodie on our head and walk in our neighborhood because you might get killed.
But why not allow Monique to change that? What if she's the trailblazer, the pioneer that's about to start that where your race does not determine how indignant you can get, if that's where we're going?
Because what I'm saying is that we sometimes do have stereotypes that we need to not play into. Like, CP time is a real thing. You know what I'm saying? When you go to certain shows, you already...
What if CP time was created by slavery because they brought us to the event last?
No. CP time it's more of a... It's not a
You can't come on your own.
Here's my theory about CP time, right? So back in the day when we was like in Africa, like before we got on,
we were there because I don't remember that trip.
Yeah. So back in the day when you have fertile ground and good heat and good sun, and you drop a seed in and everything just plants on its own, and you can take your time and enjoy the water and enjoy the island life and enjoy the trees and the breeze, and most of the time it's hot, so no matter what you put in the ground, it fertilizes and it grows, and we got food and meat. We ain't got to stress. We go when we want to go. We come when we want to come. We go where we want to go. But when you live in hard ground, no fertile soil, you barely can put a seed to produce anything, and you got to steal from other people in order for it to, occur. You have to be on time. So if you only have X amount of months in order to plant something, then that's ingrained to you that you need to be on time to plant this, and it only happens for this time. And if you don't do this at this time, and then you only have this much sun and this, and you have to go through all that, then in your mind, you're always on a schedule. So, we had it just better in life before.
So you are saying, let me see if I've got
make that make sense.
Yeah, because right now I'm trying to put it together like Humpty Dumpty. It's gonna have a little bit of glue on the edges. Okay, so because culturally we are from a region that allowed us to be able to plant and fertilize and get and live, we had no harvest time, no season for harvest. It's not that we didn't
have it. It's
seed, faith, and harvest time. Is that what you're saying? We learned that in church,
right? But it's not that we didn't have it. It was just we didn't have to scramble to it. It was always harvest time. Oh, this ain't work no more. Let's make these. I was gonna say watermelons, but that was stereotypical. We got these mangoes over here. They growing all around, all during the
no
seasons.
Hurry.
We don't have to.
So when we came to America, then we
put us on a schedule. And I was like, what the hell is this? And still inside of us, it's like when I get there, it's gonna happen anyways.
How about it could be they're not going to give me nothing, so why not show up late?
Right, but that's what I'm saying, because that's our culture. And then the culture where you have colder climates, when you have people who have less pigment, they have things that have to be on certain times. So I've got to do this before this. And it's not necessarily a bad thing. It's for their survival. Our survival didn't require that. So that's why it's ingrained. And so if Africans colonized the earth, we all would just be doing whatever we want to do whenever we want to do it. And that's why Africa should have colonized the earth instead of people who are always on some time frame. And we probably didn't even show up for the war because it's like, oh, I got something else to do. That's more fun.
So speaking about fighting, is that why Monique feels like I have to fight because like in The Color Purple?
I don't even know how you gonna transition out of what I just said.
Wherefore Harpo, we transitioning back. We're going back because you used some buzzwords there that Monique was using.
Right.
She is fighting, and she says, I'm fighting because I'm not playing the game the way they want me to play the game.
Right.
The way the system has set up for me to play the game. That is to take what I'm getting in the back, don't speak about it, don't bring it forth, don't tell anybody, do it in secret. And her point was, and I agree with her to a certain extent, her point was, why should I, as a black female, not be supported? So she was trying to explain, because she was doing some live feeds, some Instagrams between herself and her husband. I think she has a podcast too. Don't quote me on that. But one of her positions was, black women are not getting support. Mm-hmm. We're not getting support anywhere. The white man's not supporting us. The white woman's not supporting us. And now the black man's tearing us down too. The only individual that we've ever supported, the only person they can turn to whenever they're charged, to keep them from getting shot in the back, or to keep them, from being destroyed as a species, an endangered species, they still don't support us. Because why would he punch down on me instead of letting me just be the headliner? If you making all that money, you have all the tickets, why not let me be the headliner?
Right. And I think that she's right. And I think that what she should have done is take it to the person.
I think she still has that because it's a contract dispute.
Right.
And she did not go last. So, and it said she should be the last person on the stage, but that's a contract dispute she can't take up with DL. She has to take it up with the people who produce the show.
Right.
So I think she still can do that. She doesn't have to.
If me and you were told by our producer, all right, Dana, you gonna wear this color and you're gonna be the only one on here wearing this color. And then, you are going to be wearing this color, and we show up with the same dress on, and now we into it with each other about, but why you're not about to wear this dress. And you like, no, you're not going to tell me what dress I'm going to wear. Why are we beefing with each other when we should be hollering at this person?
But that's what happened. And that's why I support her. Because she put her contract out there. He put a memo out. Sir, a memo doesn't trump a contract.
But what I'm saying is that why are we beefing, period?
Well, we're beefing because I feel that you should go take that dress off.
I think finally Dana's making sense. I must have had an edible.
Shut up.
It was no, it's a good question in my eyes, and is the main question, and is the only real issue I have with what Monique has done. Is like she's picked him because she's had a beef with him and had an issue with him, and decided, tonight this one action is the reason why I'm gonna set it off. I know my contract always has headliner in it. That's why she's confident. She's confident because she knows every contract she sends out looks like that, and all they do is change the name from whoever the producer is.
X Day or D Day.
Exactly.
Or D-Day.
Entertainment Inc.
Yeah.
Whatever Entertainment Inc. is coming after that is coming after that. That's all we change. Everything else stays the same, and we may change the money amount. That's it. So that's why she's confident, and she knew she had that part, right? But it's not really a question of who should go last. That's a comedy beef that you always have. I think I brought all these people here. No, I think I brought all these people here. That's the problem with headliners or co-main eventers. Like you're always gonna have that beef. But
there's a difference between industry and law. And unfortunately, the lawyer in me cannot get past the four corners of the document.
No, I understand that. But here's where we're targeting.
The argument should be in the court instead of
no, not necessarily that. She can go to Instagram and say, "Hey, look, this is what they do to me all the time. They always try and paint me as crazy, but my contracts are tight. And look at this contract. Look how I should have been the headliner, and this is who the production company did."
So now you trying to tell her where she should be able to say it now?
I'm sorry. I didn't catch that because
but she said it on
I'm
stage.
giving her the freedom to do.
No,
it.
but she's saying you can't tell me how to reveal what's going on. With me.
Her on stage thing is strictly, and you can't tell me nothing else. Is strictly about burying DL Hughley. It's not about the sentiment. That was a tag along. That was the man in the passenger seat who was hitchhiking. The car bus was going to bury DL Hughley City.
Well, you know what? She said she meant to do that. And that's what I love about her honesty. She was honest afterwards, and she said, I delivered it the way I wanted to deliver it because I meant to do that. I've been waiting on an opportunity to out DL Hughley as the hypocrite I think he is. And what she's saying is that, let me tell y'all the backstory. And she put the backstory on the stage that night. She said she thought DL Hughley was her friend and that she had a situation where she went to DL's show where she was invited and was excited to be on the show. She's thinking my friend has a radio show and I'm going to go on his radio show and it's going to be great. Exposure for the two of us. She goes on the radio show and she says DL was not present at the time she appeared. And at the end of the show, one of his employees said to her, would you like to play a game? And she was like, we're on a radio show? Sure. Let's excite the listeners. Sure, I'll play a game. And the question asked of her, she said the game was called, Would You Rather? And she said, sure. The girl asked her, would you rather your husband sleep with Lee Daniels with a condom or Corinne?
Yeah, Superhead.
Somebody without a condom. You understand? And she was highly upset because she felt like
I don't think you should be mad about that.
No, she said what she did is, it's not that she was mad about what the young lady did. She was mad about how it was dealt with. She called DL Hughley and said, hey, friend, this young lady that works for you, she doesn't understand that family is off limits, that we don't do family members. And no matter how I answered that question, it wouldn't be right.
You could very much, don't ask me no nonsense like that.
No, she said, she told the young lady that's inappropriate. It's offensive, but she didn't want it to be aired. And she had to call DL so it wouldn't be aired. And she said he did not air it. But his response to her, which made her angry, was, this is what we do.
I know, but I think
I did not know it didn't air.
No, I think part of what I saw on one of her posts was that she told him, you can't air this. And it sounded as if she said it did not air. I hope I didn't hear that wrong, because I've been looking at all the stuff that's out there. But that's where she said she was upset, because DL's response, instead of saying, oh my goodness, no, that is offensive, I would never have her do anything like that to you, I'm going to call over there and tell him. He was like, no, that's what we do.
Yeah, but I guess the thing is that if their show is set up where they ask you crazy stuff that you wouldn't do either thing, that's the point. And
well, that's where she's coming in and drew his wife in there and said his wife is a sucking the private parts of a coward. She threw a video up of his daughter where DL had done an interview stating that his daughter was molested and that he didn't defend his daughter because he was concerned. He didn't believe her and he was concerned about compromising his friendship. And she got that information. She said, it's not coming from my mouth. It's coming from his mouth. It was his interview. It's kind of like the red table talk that
maybe his daughter wasn't telling the truth.
We don't know. But then they came out and said they later found out the child was telling the truth. Okay. So that's what she did. But people were upset with her because they were like, why would you do something like that and not realize that it could harm the child? You understand?
Yeah.
What's the effect on the child? You're angry at the father. Why would you go after him?
Because I guess in her head, see, I know I'm all over the place with whose side are you on? I know I'm all over the place. But in my head, it's like, if you came for my husband, then I'm freely can come for whoever I want to come for.
That's her point. Her point is, if you drew the line, we had a line in the sand that said families are off, and you're saying that that's what y'all do on your radio show, which is you go for family, and you come for my husband with some offensive stuff, I could come for your daughter.
But in essence, I don't think that what they asked her was even that big enough to be even mad about, when I simply nip it in the bud and I move on. Like, dude, first of all, don't ask me that.
I don't think she was stuck at the young lady behaving in what she considered an inappropriate manner. I think she was stuck on my friend, who I thought was my friend, is saying to me, this is what we do. So
Marsha,
if he's okay.
If we have a segment where we play a prank on someone, whatever the prank is, and we have a segment and we invite a friend of ours to come be on the show, and we do a prank and they're offended by the prank.
Okay, let's stop right there. Your scenario and your hypothetical doesn't fit. If we're on this show and I start saying something about your husband, and I say something, I ask you,
you're not saying, is your husband gay? Because we got these photos. Boom, 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 boom,
ma'am,
boom.
I'm saying that if I give the inference that he is, and you all are public figures, and you go home and you start catching all kinds of flack because now his social media account starts blowing up, and when people get mad at him, they start saying, yeah, that's why we heard on Diva Court that
So here's my question. Are there previous inferences that her husband is gay?
Yes.
Oh, so then that makes more sense. Like, now that makes the connection. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, because even DL's comeback in the fight about the headliner was, how are you going to call me DL? Look at who you going to bed with at night. You understand what I'm saying?
I see. So then, yes, then now it makes sense. Like, why would you even say that? If these rumors out here, why would you, as my friend,
that's my point. You can't make that a joke, because that's what the employee.
Those facts weren't in evidence. So that's why I was like, I don't understand why she's mad about it.
I don't care if they're in evidence or not. You have to remember that we live in a social media age where people will take things and run with it. And once they tar and feather you, sweetheart, just like they've tarred and feathered Monique, because there are a lot of people who haven't even looked at the contract. They have discounted her because of her beef with Oprah or her beef with Tyler Perry. What they haven't researched was Tyler Perry apologized to her. You understand what I'm saying? People are apologizing to her,
what was she mad
but
at
they're
Tyler
not.
Perry for?
It was another issue about how she as a black woman is treated less than important. There was an issue with Netflix. There's a rumor that Netflix, or allegations that Netflix was going to pay another Amy Schumer $22 million, for her appearance on Netflix for the same amount of time they wanted to pay.
I mean, it's like Living Single and Friends. It's like Living Single was the better show, but Friends has the bigger audience.
No. You have to understand.
It's the truth.
What Monique's point was, she's an upcomer. She came up after me. You understand what I'm saying? And if we're going to justify that as black people, it'll never change. It's like me saying, we were slaves for about 400 years. What you complaining about, girl? They just want your daughter to come clean up in the kitchen and do it for free. Why you have a problem?
I don't think that's the same. I think
no, I can't.
Here's the thing. I haven't seen Monique in anything in a long time.
Well, here's the thing.
You know what I'm
the
saying?
woman got an Oscar. Whether she got it for being the worst mother in the whole world and Precious, that's fine.
I actually like Monique. Like, I'm Team Monique. Whatever she say, I'm going to go with it anyways. But
no,
I'm really having
not
a
like
private
that.
conversation.
I'm not like that.
No, because I feel like her intentions are good. But if I'm having a private conversation about the Netflix situation, because I'm aware of that, I haven't seen her in anything in a long time.
Well, see, that's because the narrative in defense of what she did on the stage that night is, what have you done for me lately? And you've picked up on it because that's the argument you have too, which is if you're not selling out the arena in COVID, we don't think you're good. If you're not selling out tickets, if I sell more tickets than you sell tickets, what have you? They're arguing everything she puts out and says, I've been in the game 30 years. I've done Queens of Comedy. In fact, that was part of her joke that DL did not close Kings of Comedy, but she closed Queens of Comedy. Mm-hmm. And they were like, oh, get out of here. The best person on Queens of Comedy was Samoa. It wasn't you. That's not a comeback. She did close it. You understand? Right. So if you're going to argue closing versus closing, but what they keep doing with her, because she's already been tarred and feathered, is they pivot. And he wants to talk about something else. You weren't funny last week, and Amy Schumer came. You got to remember now, race plays a role, and a big role, in doors opening up for people. It might not necessarily be that Amy Schumer is any funnier than Monique is, but that she has the complexion that gets the door open. Yeah. And we can't discount that. I mean, we can't use that to say.
I never hit play on an Amy Schumer comedy special.
Me neither, ever.
But
but I would hit play on a Monique one.
I'll hit one on Monique.
So that's her point. Her point is, don't discount me because as soon as you see the complexion of my skin, you won't let me in the door. You all know as people of color how difficult it is to be the best lawyer, to be the best doctor, to be the best engineer, to be the best anything. You understand? So don't come and say to me that and use a comparison. If you want to use a comparison with another black female comedian and say Samoa, if you go for Samoa now and say, hey, Samoa's funnier than you are, and that would make sense because you know Samoa's complexion is not going to block the door for her. So you take away that argument from Monique.
So not to take away anything from Monique, but like if Tiffany Haddish had this complaint against Amy Schumer, then to me, I feel like she has a balance of, Tiffany Haddish is in this, she's in that, she's in this. So if her Netflix special isn't more than Amy Schumer's, then I'm like, I see what y'all doing. But because Monique has not been on anything, be it she hasn't been creating her own content to be on this, I'm not saying that she doesn't, I don't know, but I don't see anything.
Let me tell you something. They said the same thing about Dave Chappelle. They called that man crazy when he walked away from 50 billion.
Which made you want him even more.
No, he went and had a seat and got his brain back together in Africa and got back to his roots and leveled himself and say, you know what, this game is dangerous.
Chappelle had a whole comedy show turning down money when he left. So I don't
know.
No,
but
like
what I'm saying is he turned down the money for the principle of the matter. He didn't turn down the money because he didn't think the money was important. What Monique is saying
Monique ain't turned no money down.
No, what she's she's blowing a stage up for the principle of the matter. So you might turn money down for the principle of the matter, but I'm gonna blow the stage up.
No, what I'm saying is that if she had her own Monique show and was doing it on Comedy Central. No, she had on.
Okay, no, so she had a television series. Listeners, listen to this. She had an Oscar from the movie theater, so she's a movie actress. She's an actress.
What I'm
Hold on, let me just break it down for the listeners. Mm-hmm. She's an actress, right? Mm-hmm. She's done a movie and she's won an Oscar. Many of actresses that are out there right now, been in the game longer than Monique, do not have an Oscar, right? Right? So if we were to use that standard, we would say to those women, I don't care how long you've been out here. I don't care the fact that you have a portfolio that's 1,000 movies. You've never had an Oscar. Monique has an Oscar, so have a seat.
Listen, it's not the same comparison to Dave Chappelle. What I'm saying is not her TV show with Countess, whatever. No, that's not what I'm talking about. If she had a creative show where she was doing creative comedy work consistently, doing different shows like a Living Color or a Dave Chappelle or something like on a Saturday Night Live sketchy show, and was doing this consistently, people watching it consistently, no matter, even if it's just only black people, and we're watching, we love this show, like we love the Living Color. And then she was like, you know what? I'm gone. I don't want to do this no more for a while. And in that process, she got the Oscar. She got this. She got that. She even got Comedy Central or whoever picked up the show to say, we really want you to do this. I'm about to cut you this big check. And she's like, no, I'm gone. And then she leaves, leaving us wanting more. I wasn't left wanting more watching her and Countess do whatever show they was doing. When you leave me wanting more, then yes, it's called supply and demand. I want to see that. But that's not the same scenario as Dave Chappelle. So I don't think we can compare
my
that
argument
to Dave Chappelle.
No. I'm telling you, what I'm comparing to Dave Chappelle is not Dave's ability to draw an audience. That's not what I'm comparing.
But that's how you get the tickets.
No.
And that's how you get the money.
No, because remember, some people like steak, some people like fish. There's certain comedy that some people are not interested in. You understand what I'm saying? Just like how the LGBT community does not like Dave Chappelle. Period.
They just
okay.
liking him.
So what I'm saying,
that's a big leap.
Well, they don't like
a
his
large block into.
Let me put it this way: they don't like what they believe he's doing to negatively affect that community.
But that's a small percentage of people.
No,
They're not even. Netflix looked at that like y'all not even worth the time.
So guess what? So that means then there's nothing she will ever be able to do because you all will justify. Oh no, you needed 20
That's
more
not
of
what
that.
I said.
No, you got to come 20. You got to, no. So what I'm saying is if you keep moving the target and keep pivoting from the topic. So let me get back to the topic.
Let me say this. If we stop doing this show, right? If we stop doing this show, this is what I remember Monique from doing the show with Countess. I don't even remember the name of the show. That's how irrelevant.
The Parkers.
The Parkers, right. The Parkers. Nobody's going to know what that show is. If we stop doing this show and then 10 years, 15 years later say, look, we had X amount of content and we were doing this and blah, 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 and we were building this, and we're requiring, you know what, I'm not even going to put us on the level of Monique because that's not the same. But that's how I feel. It's not the same as Dave Chappelle. We can't put them on the same level.
So what
is my point? There is none.
Okay. Let me help round up her point. I'm not gonna necessarily make her the martyr and say whatever she did on that stage was 100% correct.
Oh, I think she should have did that.
There was a personal vendetta out there that was tagged along with a good reason of stating, come on now. A company would only do this. An entertainment company would only do this to a black woman. You know what I'm saying? Like, why would you do that to me? Call me the headliner and then tell me, no, you're not the headliner. DL actually is the headliner. Because it's the company's decision. If DL says, I'm the headliner, and you said, I'm the headliner, the company had to choose. And they said, nah, DL is the headliner. That means that company has been doing black women wrong because they don't respect the contracts of black women and don't respect the audience draw that I can bring, right, especially in this town of Detroit when I've been working my
Which is
here.
My point, is that what she is arguing, and she says every time she argues that, people pivot to what have you done for me lately, and I didn't watch the Parkers and it was so long ago, and you got to be funny this week and next week and the week after that.
Netflix thing, but I think she's
what I'm
right
saying
in this situation.
I don't know Amy Schumer to have no television series that ran for no time.
She had movies.
Like Monique. Like Monique's.
She got
But it's a copy of Dave Chappelle.
But that's what I'm saying. Is if she's copying Dave Chappelle's platform or formatting, I don't have a respect for you. You're taking somebody else's platform or somebody else's style. You're not even good enough to create your own. You understand what I'm saying? And I'm supposed to give you $20 million more respect? $20 million more respect than a black woman? I can see if the salary, listen to me. If you're talking about paying me $500,000 and paying her $22 million, you don't see a huge disparity? It's not like Monique is saying, I got 10 and she got 22. That I could argue with Monique, have a seat. have a seat, because it's just based on now her numbers. She got a little bit more pull than you, so she's getting to 22 million. And if I'm gonna pay you minimum wage and pay the paralegal in the next room next to you $100,000 a year, you're gonna be like, are you serious? And I'm drafting just like she's drafting. Oh well, when she go to court, the judges like her, and the witnesses are.
I just don't like
the disparity.
You would have to find a different person, put that person. If it was Tiffany Haddish and Tiffany was getting paid
Tiffany just came up, honey. Tiffany has been in the game.
Tiffany's been
in the game for a long time, not getting any respect, just like the rest of the black women.
I'm not saying that, but what I'm saying is that Amy Schumer and Tiffany are considered to be on the same.
No, they're not. Amy Schumer's higher than Tiffany.
No,
okay,
I put them on the same level.
I don't think they're on the same level. I don't think they're on the same level. Check the numbers. They paying Tiffany. They paying Tiffany less than they're paying.
No. We're not disputing that. We're talking about the audience draw.
What I'm saying
is, which feeds into Monique's point that even if as a black woman you have the same audience draw, you're still getting less money.
Let me see if Dana would agree with me. I think what we're trying to say is she doesn't say it as if it's for black women. She's specifically talking about
her.
Me.
No. Let me tell you something. When I looked at DL Hughley's responses, and a lot of the people's responses are like, you don't speak for black women. Stop talking about black women this and black women that. You're just visceral and you're just horrible. And I've heard one guy just cussing her and like, you got an Oscar for being the worst mama in the whole wide world. Why would I have any respect for that? And da-da-da, and you shouldn't have done that.
But see, this is the thing. If you're speaking for black women, you should have did what Stacey Abrams did. You create a foundation and you bring in the people.
Okay, first of all, that's an insult to Stacey Abrams, because she is a licensed practicing
I appreciate where you're coming
attorney.
from.
No, it's not
okay.
an insult.
This edible is amazing.
Listen,
this is one of the best edibles.
When Stacey Abrams lost the election due to what she believes was fraudulent behavior or bad behavior. Malfeasance. What Stacey Abrams said, I got you. And she created a foundation and she organized and she got it together. So she made sure that black people would never have their vote not counted again. So she got everybody together and she brought them out. So when Monique got disrespected because she felt like because I'm a black woman, you know what I'm saying? They're disrespecting me. She should have created an organization that's focused on black women comedians getting the same amount of pay as their counterparts, be it male or white female.
What she is saying.
So if you did that, and then you're like, you see what they did to me? This is why I created this organization. So when the Tiffany Haddishes don't get paid like the Amy Schumers because they have the same background, the same relevance, the same this, we can say, let's hold you accountable for that. But I only hear Monique being mad about it when it's affecting only her. If it affected all the black women, then why aren't we all getting together and creating an organization?
Because there are black women that are not supporting her right now.
First, hold on. This is for Dana. I'm telling you. I will drink behind this counter for that. That was wow. I'm here.
Amazing. She's growing up.
But I am Team Monique.
The producer says I'm a proud papa.
I still am Team Monique, and I'm still Team Individual.
No, I have to be.
And I understand what her point is, but like I'm Team all black women. We don't.
No.
Huh?
Can you play a? I'm gonna need you to pull up on that.
I smell spaghetti.
You must be hungry in the middle of the show.
Whoa, I mean,
let me pull up. I am not
does
team.
Does this show have a train of thought? Because I feel like I'm all over the place.
Yeah, you all over the place. I am not team.
I'm not asking you because we're in adversary.
I am not
Producer.
team.
Am I all over the place?
Before I was rudely interrupted.
You're not team.
I am not team all black women. Let's get that straight. Say it again, Marsha, for the people in the back.
We're team black women with evidence.
I am team black women who have evidence and who have morals and who stand for something so they won't fall for everything. And what I found is that unfortunately in the black women arena, that some black women, when they get to a certain level, want to distance themselves from what they believe and has been labeled as low class. Oh no, I am not Monique. Oh, I could never watch Monique's discount. You understand? Yeah. I am not discounting a Monique, but for his grace and mercy, there go I. I know that individuals.
Talking that legal jargon. There go I. Can we give a definition on the bottom?
I know individuals that would love to tar and feather me right now because I fight for justice. I fight for individuals. I try to be the voice for the voiceless. And I have been attacked in my career. And what I'm saying to you is, as a people, we have to be careful how we want our disdain for conduct to be packaged. We marched and we didn't get justice. We sang "We Shall Overcome" and we didn't get justice. You understand what I'm saying?
We didn't get no amendments.
We kneeled Kaepernick and we didn't get any justice. And no matter what we do, there's always someone on the other side that will say there's a different way that you should have done it.
Are you saying we should do the Malcolm X approach now that we did all the peaceful
Trust
things?
Trust me. I understand Monique's frustration. I do not agree with her. And let the listeners be clear. Let me be clear with my listeners. I do not agree with her reposting DL Hughley's speech or interview.
Was it already public?
Yeah, it was already public.
So why?
It was already public.
So what's wrong with that?
I don't agree with it. And the only reason I don't agree with it is because I would be concerned about the victim of the sexual assault or the abuse. You understand? I would be concerned about reopening wounds for the victim. You understand? So I would attack the father because I have plenty of other things to attack the father's character about. I would not repost that because I would be concerned about what it would do to the daughter and the effect it might have on the daughter, who may have already healed and has gotten past that. You understand what I mean? Yeah. So not for daddy. If it was for daddy, I would repost it. But it's for the daughter that I would not repost it. I do not agree with her saying to his spouse that she is putting her mouth on the private parts of a coward. Nope, I'm not going for the wife because I fight fair.
But that's not.
Hold on.
For the wife.
Hold on. She came for the wife. Here's the thing. She came for the husband using the wife. But the thing about it is,
maybe
just like
that gives him strength.
Just like Stacey Abrams' fair fight. Fair fight says, okay? She fought fair. Stacey Abrams fought fair. She went back out and got it. So let me do the comparison. I'm a fair fighter. And I would not fight by going after the wife. But DL, sir, all bets are off. I understand why Monique did it, because Monique said, when you asked me that question about my husband, you took the line from out of the sand and you no longer drew it. So once you took away the line, I get to talk. You want to talk about my husband? You want to talk about the rumors about my husband?
Why she can't talk about his wife?
Because I wouldn't go there, especially since people are trying to tar and feather me. Just like you said, oh, well, if she had done this, I'd have gone right to the line, but I wouldn't have crossed it.
Okay.
So what I'm saying is, I agree with her 100%. I'm looking at the contract. I'm glad she posted it because everybody wants to call her a liar. And you're posting a memo, DL. Shame on you, because memos can't go to court. Okay, contracts go to court. And when you get to court, judges will say to you, let's look at the four corners of the document. I agree with DL on certain points, which is my name's not in that contract. That contract was not with me. So why come for me? Well, she came for you because you said, or rumor has it, it's alleged, that you wouldn't get on the stage if you were not the headliner. So she felt like that was a petty move, and that if you were a brother supporting women, you let her be the headliner. You know they've tarred and feathered her. Let her be the headliner. So that everybody can say, and she got a headliner, she could put it on her resume. Let the black woman resume build. Let her resume build. Let her build her reputation back. And let her see that you are her friend, that you did break bread with her, that you did put your foot under her table, and that you're really not that type of person, and you're going to yield. Because you have the numbers anyway. You have the pull. Now, there are people out there, and I've seen your comments, so let me talk about it. There are people out there that's saying, I really don't care. Long as that don't change my money, I'm getting paid the same amount of money no matter what order I go in, I don't care. I don't believe that's genuine, but for the people who actually wouldn't care, kudos to you. Yeah. You understand? Especially if, as the producer said, the headliner is the big deal for comedians. That's what they care about. I'm the headliner because I'm the pull. I'm the person that draws the numbers. right? I understand Monique said, I have to get on this stage because I don't want to disappoint my fans. There are people out there that came to see me. And what she did, she burned the stage down. Because when she finished, she told them, when I leave, the headliner has left the building. So that caused DL, when he came on stage, to get pushback and the people were booing.
So let me just encapsulate what I think, right? I'm going to try. I think, like, it's going to sound real fake, but it's as real as I can be, okay? I think, like, in public, and I'm consider this a private moment, you know. In public, yeah, Monique, what you had to do, you had to do. And yeah, if he talked about your husband and he know, then
Talk about his wife.
Your wife, your kid, you, your grandmama. We talking about everybody. You know what I'm saying? If you were offended like that, they didn't care about your feelings. Why should you care about theirs? So I'm Team Monique when it comes to that. You know what I'm saying? Like, the way she handled it, boom, here goes the contract. Here's this, here's that, here's that. I am Team Monique. However, like, because I feel like she my homegirl, I pull her in the side like, you know, we shouldn't be discussing black people business in front of everybody. Like, we need to keep our stuff in-house. Now, that's why I'm having that conflicting conversation, because that's like that in-house, like, but you know, on that Netflix.
So you consider that dirty laundry?
Yeah. So I'm like, we're going to beat them up and ask questions later. But when we actually, like, you do know that, you know, Amy Schumer and Tiffany Haddish.
So you would book a one-on-one fight in the back room with her?
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not going to.
And close the door?
I'm not going against Monique.
What they call that, closed cage in wrestling?
I'm not going against Monique in public because I respect her sentiment and I understand why she did it. So I'm not going against her in public. But
well, she said she meant to do that.
When we are in the back rooms and I want to talk to her about that Netflix deal, that's the conversation I would have with her. But at the end of the day, you have to fight for yourself. But since you fighting and you see that it's wrong, babe, not only should you be fighting for yourself, you got to create an organization because they coming for us.
I agree with that. I agree with that. She needs to do like Tyler Perry did. Get your own studios.
There you go.
Push out your own stuff. Get your production off the ground.
Is why
the problem I think you have, though, is once they've tarred and feathered you, who's going to do business with you?
There's a lot of people who will do business.
If you create the content,
the numbers, you're gonna need the numbers. Content ain't good enough. I can tell you that right now.
But the content brings the numbers, and once you bring the numbers with the content
and the name,
so why if Trump can bring 72 million, she can't bring with negative content? No. Okay, so let's talk about content then.
No,
right?
but
let's talk about
understand.
content.
That's the content they want.
That's my point. If he can use content to bring those people to the polls, why can't she use that type of content to bring black people on board to say, let's go do business?
Wait, no. Wait.
What?
So we're saying yes.
So content. I need an edible because y'all don't. Look, I need an edible because they've had edibles and they ain't give me none. And that's the problem is that I'm up here.
Make the connection.
Or are they up here and I'm down here?
Right.
I'm not high. I'm not high. They up here.
What I really am when I'm off this edible.
Their edibles got them up here, and I'm down here.
Hear the words that I'm using. These words I don't use in regular conversation. No, okay. So, do you know what she's trying to say?
I am saying that if his argument,
I'm gonna go from this look.
If
that
the
you
producer
have no
is saying content bring the numbers. What content did Donald Trump have to bring the numbers that the Republicans refuse to let go of, even when minor children are getting blown to smithereens? Racism. What content?
Racism.
What content?
Racism.
That's my point.
Yeah.
That's my point.
Racism might cue higher than just, you know, an angry black woman. Racism just is a lot. If she started saying racist stuff about other people, then she probably get her numbers up.
Okay, well, Monique, you heard it from the co-diva.
You got to talk about racism.
Start talking about some racist stuff.
Right.
Talk about all the white men and be mad about them and tie it into the contracts and argue that's why your contracts.
Candace Owens and say mean stuff about black people. You get all the numbers you want.
But that's still beating on black people. She can't beat on white people?
No, I'm just saying, if you want the numbers, you got to make sure.
Punch down on blacks, Monique.
Exactly. You want them numbers.
Punch down on blacks and get your numbers up.
Being a black woman punching down on blacks, you'll get all the numbers. And they'll never question you again. I bet you Candace Owens get a real nice Netflix special.
Wonderful.
And she ain't even a comedian.
I know, right? The issue with that is you're always at places that aren't fun. Like, where am I? I am in Hubacalaba, Alabama.
Wow. Where's that? Egypt.
But they paid.
Yeah.
Right. I know, but if you could have 1,000 small checks that are consistent compared to one big check that you never get again, what would you want?
All right, talking about a big check. There's a $5.2 million judgment. Listeners, we are talking about a $5.2 million judgment that was granted to a girlfriend who has remained anonymous. Her initials are
Is she an
M.O.
ex-girlfriend?
She's an ex-girlfriend now. M.O. is her initials. And in the state of Missouri,
Can we give her a name?
M.O.
Like,
More money.
I like it.
More Money won $5.2 million because her ex-boyfriend gave her HPV virus, right? By having sex with her in his car. So Geico jumped up and said, wait a minute, before you cut checks. 5.2 million? We didn't even know about this case. And why did y'all tell us first? So let me explain.
Do you think she was a black woman or a white woman?
Girl, we don't know how to get money like that.
That's
Is it not know how to or just not allowed?
We don't know.
We're not
We don't
allowed
know
to.
how to, and even if we did, we wouldn't get it. Okay, so let's go. You said Trump using racism. That's racism right there. We wouldn't get that kind of money. Just like how Monique had to punch down on
All
black
right,
women.
all you STDs have us in the cars.
Sleeping
yeah.
with people in the car can pay
Like, little baby,
$5.2
what?
million.
Like the baby said, if you're sucking dick in the parking lot,
Now you know, baby got canceled.
you get your car and you get STD, you come out here.
Hey, baby,
You
the
come out
baby
here,
got
we
canceled.
sign you up for a good old contract so we can sue Geico.
Listen to me. So a ex-girlfriend, sues her ex-boyfriend for having sex with her in his car and her contracting a sexually transmitted disease. Then she went to arbitration and she won. She won $5.2 million. After she won $5.2 million, if this diva would just let me get the story out and then she could ask her ridiculous questions, we would allow
Why
it.
they gotta be ridiculous? It was about to be ridiculous too.
Yeah, keep ridiculous, okay? Hold the ridiculous. It can come out in a second. So she wins, and then Geico finds out, whoa. We're not paying $5.2 million for this woman having sex with her boyfriend in the backseat of the car. First of all, our insurance is not for that purpose. It's for car accidents. It's for car. No, it would be prostitution if he paid the $5.2 million before the STD was transmitted. Not after. Okay, so Geico jumps up and says, "Wait, we're trying to set aside this judgment, okay? Because it's an arbitration. If you don't hold them ridiculous,
you see, Your Honor,
look,
or arbitrator.
I'm gonna need.
Okay, I need you gotta hurry up because I have so many questions I might forget.
Can I tell the story, please?
Hurry up.
So, look, you're out of order. So Geico tries to set aside the judgment, and the state court says, nope, we got to uphold it. That's a real judgment. They went to arbitration. He lost, and she won $5.2 million. Geico cut the check.
Okay.
Now, most people are wondering, oh my God, where do you get that kind of insurance? The umbrella policy is also in effect. And it sounds like this guy was using his little Hyundai for more than just that business, other business.
All right, so what is an umbrella policy?
Okay, so umbrella policy is I cover everything other than just this. So if you're a business person and you're using your vehicle for cupcakes, you're selling cupcakes, and you want to insure the car with the cupcake business name, and you're going to have an umbrella policy that's going to cover what the
Is your house under there too?
No. If you have a business policy, you would have to have a separate, policy for that.
Okay.
But he has an umbrella
like,
policy.
The umbrella policy
If
is
she gonna go into the
'cause
umbrella,
I wanna-
it's not raining. Could you stay away from the umbrella?
The umbrella policy is not like home insurance, car insurance, and
No.
She's asking. It's not a bundle, right? Because
I'm about to
let me tell you,
It's not
Allstate
a
be
bundle.
telling me about this bundle all the time, and
She was going home to check
if
her
they had
bundle.
just told me it was an umbrella, I would have bought it a long time ago.
It's So it's not a bundle package.
Not
It's
a bundle.
deal.
Stay away
Okay.
from that. You're going too deep. Okay. Stay out of the insurance business. We're not selling Geico, okay? Jesus.
Well, they need to know because if I didn't know, somebody else might
They
not
don't
know.
need to know. They just need to
Okay.
know about the lawsuit.
Okay.
Okay. So Geico tries to set aside the lawsuit, and the state court says, we're going to affirm that. So now Geico has a problem because they owe $5.2 million. They don't want to pay it. So Geico goes to Kansas and sues in federal court, and they sue their insured because they're like, this is a scam. You and your girlfriend must have made up to try to get this policy because you knew you had this policy, and that's why you did it. Then the Kansas court says, well, we got to dismiss it against her because she doesn't live in Kansas, so we don't have jurisdiction over her. So all of the verdict, all of the evidence, all of the stuff is in Missouri. So the Kansas court says, hey, do you want to transfer it? Good. Thank you, Jesus.
Are you almost done?
Hallelujah. So the case gets transferred back to Missouri where it's now pending. But the case is now Geico versus their insured.
Okay. Can I ask my questions now? Because I mean,
She would like this to
my
be in
gosh,
TikTok
that was
form.
so long.
Can you give us a summary in TikTok form?
Okay. Question number
Don't talk about insurance.
1. Question number 1. I'm trying to and thinking like, is this about insurance?
Needs to be about
number
sex in a car.
If it was a conspiracy, because I can't think about the word. If it was a conspiracy, if they did have sex in the car, she knew he had HPV.
She did not, and that's the problem.
Okay.
That's why she sued him. She said had he told her she was going to have a disease, she would not have been intimate, and that he knew he had it because it was in his medical records.
Okay. So if you the girlfriend, is this the first time y'all had sex? And then here's the other thing. Like, are you showing the pap smear? Like, are you like, here's my last pap smear and I'm HPV free, and now here is my pap smear and I'm HPV you know what I'm saying?
I was free and now I'm we.
Yes, it means yes.
Yes. That's called
Spanish.
evidence.
Is that we?
And you
yes
would
in French.
Spanish. Okay. In French. I was just.
You
I just
would-
want to
Yes
make
in
sure.
French.
You would produce
and
that
now,
evidence.
are we showing that this is the same strand of HPV?
OMG.
That is the same strand of HPV that he has. Like, remember when we were talking about COVID and you couldn't sue businesses for getting COVID in their establishments because you can't trace it?
That's just because
Like,
the government had a pandemic and they were concerned about everybody having to cut a check. Because
So
there
you-
was a million
right.
people that's dead.
But can
and the
you-
insurance companies would be out of business if they had to cut a check for all 1 million.
Okay, so we can trace the trail of HPV. And is this the first STD test? Like, I
Okay,
have
so
so
hold
many
on a
questions.
second. Hold on a second.
Is this the first?
Let me ask you a
STD
question.
test?
Are you saying that the judge who heard the evidence in the case did not hear that type of evidence and just had a woman come in the door and say, oh, I slept with him on Tuesday
I'm
and I don't
asking
have
you,
no
is that,
evidence.
like-
I don't have no evidence. Just take my words for it. I don't have no
No,
evidence.
is that the
you see
evidence
this
that
pretty
was
face? You
used?
judge this pretty face. Yes, you have to have evidence. Think about how ridiculous this lawsuit is in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
For it to have gotten to this level, the woman had to have presented evidence.
Okay, so like you can tell a strand of HPV from another strand of HPV.
I'm not a GYN. Are we going to have to bring Dr. H back? Is that what you're saying?
We might.
She wants Dr. H to say,
Like,
Dr. H, how many strands
All
of
HPVs
are there?
are not the same, right?
How many strands of herpes is there?
There's like 3.
Okay. Does it matter if it's genital or if it's...
If you
If you
have
got it,
a
do you
cold
care?
sore,
Do you
and
care?
you are given
If you know you've been intimate with one partner and you get it, do you care what strand it is?
like some people. No, look, some people don't mind the cold sores. They don't mind
I
them.
said, if you were negative for
I want none of
herpes
that.
and you got it from a man and you had one partner that you slept with, do you go, sir, I'm sorry, what strand
No,
was that?
what I'm saying is
Because if it's
some
strand
people-
number 1, I'm okay. If it's the one that come out here, I'm okay.
No,
If it's genital, I don't want it. But if it's on the lips, hey, I
but
don't
no,
have
herpes simplex 1 can turn into
My
herpes
point is, I
simplex
don't
2.
want 1, 2, or 3.
But some people are okay with herpes
Her, please.
simplex 1.
Her, no. I don't want her, no,
Some
please.
people okay with that.
Her, no, please. Okay?
When they say 1 in 4 people have herpes, are they including cold sores?
Of course they are.
Okay. It's 4 of us in here.
So that would be you.
No, it ain't me, honey. It ain't me, honey.
That would be you.
I don't know.
Let me tell you something. I'm still impressed. I got to follow this case because I don't know how Geico is going to get it set aside. I just don't see it. when the state court already said, I'm sorry, she won that verdict fair and square, go cut the check, $5.2 million. $5.2 million for an STD.
And they can't appeal the decision?
Well, they did, and they lost.
But they didn't go to the Supreme Court though, right?
No. They lost in the state court.
Right.
But then they did another move, which doesn't make sense to me, is go over to Kansas and file a whole
Why
separate
did they
lawsuit.
just go up?
They did go up in the state and lost.
They went all the way to the state Supreme Court
and lost.
Oh, okay. I see
So
what
then
you're
they
saying.
went over federal court
All
and
right.
said, hey, feds.
But can it go to the federal Supreme
Well,
Court?
the thing is, she's not even a party to the case anymore. The courts in Kansas says.
Can they appeal that though?
No, you don't have jurisdiction over somebody. How you going to appeal that?
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
What if I sue you in Alaska and you never lived there? Can I appeal? Can I appeal that? Because she should live in
So
Alaska.
that's not an
That's an
egregious-
appellate issue.
No,
Yeah.
essentially what they're trying to say is she gonna get her money. It's just who's gonna pay.
Right.
So the insurance company is trying to say it's not us because it's actually insurance fraud.
Yeah, that's what they're arguing.
Mhm.
But they can't prove that.
You can't prove that in type of intent.
No, because remember, the man would have to go out and get
type in a
HPV.
text
No.
message.
He'd have to go out and get this STD first. And then after he get the STD, he would have to call her and say, hey, would you like me to give you this
Or
STD so we can go
I
after the
think what they're
insurance?
saying is that he knew he already have it, and he said, "Hey, I'll give you this HPV, and we can sue the insurance company."
But nobody's going to believe that.
Yeah,
Nobody's going to believe that.
like, yeah, I signed up for this HPV so I could get. Would you sign up for HPV
How
to get
much do
5.2
you
million?
think? Thank you. How
Would
much
you
do you
sign up
think
for-
did you once you hear that plan? If I came to you with that plan, let's rephrase that. If your
And all I have
husband
to
came
do
to
is,
you
like-
with that plan before y'all were
I don't know
married,
if you came to me with that plan. Let me talk to Michael first.
Hold on, let me check.
Let me talk to Michael first.
He
Let me
might
see.
he might say 5.5.
What's another? What's another body? It's not deadly, and then all you got to do
You
is
won't die.
Can't
I won't die.
be untreated can
Yes,
lead
yes,
to
it can.
certain types
It
of
can.
cancer.
It can. You don't want to play like that.
right.
So
You
again,
take your
I'm
cervix
saying
out.
as soon as I
don't
hear
have
that
any no more
plan,
children.
Look,
as soon as I hear that
5.
plan, I'm saying, what am I gonna get? $50,000?
No. But what if I don't get the money?
Yeah.
What if I lose?
And that's the problem.
Yeah. What if I lose?
Like,
Now I'm stuck with
what
this.
if we try? I'm stuck with this HPV.
It's gonna have to be something you got a cure for, please. I'm sorry. I can't do that.
Like maybe if it was gonorrhea, you know what I'm saying? Like you can.
You know, I'm trying to end this show on a high note, but ain't nothing high about any high
There's
notes.
penicillin for gonorrhea.
And she is just talk it. And I'm just gonna close.
Are we
Diva
done?
Court
Or
on
are you
that.
finished?
I'm finished.
Are we
I'm
done?
done.
Or are you finished?
And we're done. And that is a $5.2 million episode of Diva Court.
Is it over for real?
It's over for real. All right, listeners, please look out for our episodes every Wednesday.
Oh, my gosh.
Find us on Spotify,
Spotify,
Apple Podcasts,
Apple,
and Google Podcasts.
Google.
Oh my goodness. Don't forget to look for our episodes every Wednesday on YouTube if you want to see all this beauty.
Yes.
The Divaness is for you. Tell us what's your favorite color. We might try to dress
Oh yeah,
like
tell-
it.
favorite colors. We've been hitting colors.
Yeah, we hitting colors. We
Maybe
don't
we
know.
should do brown next time.
Not. Tell us what color you want us to wear, and we'll coordinate it
Yeah,
for
we probably
you.
couldn't do brown because it would probably just look like we was
Brown
just
is gonna
naked.
look. We can't be naked. The last time we did brown, she got our videos incarcerated by YouTube. They said she was naked, so we're not doing that. Don't forget, this episode is sponsored by Cutie Nails and Spa in Midtown. Manicures,
Manicures,
Pedicures.
get your feet done.
facials,
Facials
and lashes. Go enjoy the cutie experience and let a cutie take care of you.
Hey, cutie.
And that's episode. We're gonna close. I don't even know
You
what
don't
number
know?
we're
I think it's
on.
34.
Episode
it 34?
34. Watch them all.
Are we on 35?
Binge and watch.
33?
35,
31?
34, 35, 35, 40, 40, 45.
You're on
38?
38?
39.
Wow.
Should we have a party for our 40th?
40th?
Catherine?
Yes, we're turning 40. We're going to have a party on our 40th.
Yeah.
And we will
Jesus.
Drink to that. What, you don't want to produce that? What you trying to say?
I'm first of all, I love how you're sad that this episode is ending and you just wanted to keep going. And, congrats to us that we make stuff that we want to keep going.
Yeah.
Hopefully the fans do as well.
Oh, we got to drink to that again.
Yes.
I have no clue what you just said.
Hey, just cheers.
Okay, your edible wore off.
Yeah. The edible is gone. We got to drink to that.